Hey, it's Dr. Tartt, and it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and I'm talking men, masculinity, and mental health. All right, for so long, we've ascribed to traditional views of manhood. Like, what am I talking about? Like Stoicism, show no emotion, competitiveness and power, and then dominance and aggression, and then self-reliance. But what we're finding in the studies is that these things are no longer good for us. So welcome. My name is Dr. Tartt, clinical Christian psychologist, and we're talking about how we should change as men, or how the men in your lives, even the boys whom you were raising, should change so that we can have not only better mental health, but also better physical health by replacing those masculinities with what's called the new or multiple masculinities. All right. Now, let me just start with this. It is certainly okay to be stoic and to show no emotion at times as a man. I am a man and I am raising a son. And there are times in which I will teach him, he's only 2, hey, just because someone calls you a name doesn't mean that you show them that you are affected, because then you will become a target and you will become bullied. I need you to respond in a certain way. There's certainly times I'm going to teach my son to have power and competitiveness. We are not here to play. We're here to win, right? And there are times in which I am going to want him to be dominant and aggressive. If we are the most talented in the room of other academics, I need you to raise your hand and I need you to volunteer as the leader. I need you to step in and say, hey, I think there's a different way we can go about explaining this, all right? So we're not abandoning those, but what we're doing is that we're shifting those and we're adding 5 other qualities that I really want you to tap into right now. So number 1 is emotional expression and vulnerability versus just stoicism. All right. So if we're always shutting down and we're never communicating and we're never saying how we feel, how can we express emotions and vulnerability and have a romantic relationship, be a great father, be a great leader, be a great follower, even a great employee, if you can't express how you feel about what is going on? And when we don't do that, we internalize, right? We internalize how we feel, and that leads to more drinking, more smoking, more sexing, more shutting down, and just using sleep as the only vehicle we have. And just to be honest, there are a lot of boys who are raised early on not to express their emotions, right? And when that's in the extreme, boys actually grow up without a vocabulary for expressing emotion. In psychology, we actually call that alexithymia. Alexithymia is when men express, or boys express, I don't really know. I don't have a vocabulary for expressing how I feel. I just shrug my shoulders. All right, number 2, we have to seek social support. We can't do this alone. We can't have self-reliance. I'm going to do it all by myself. Because what we know is men who are willing to seek social support, such as friends, families, and professionals, are able to talk about depression, able to talk about feeling stressed out, able to talk about how do I move up. It says in the Bible, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. That's Proverbs 15:22. So how are you going to be great if you don't have wise counsel? The President of the United States has a cabinet. CEO of Microsoft and Google have a board of directors. The pastor has a board of trustees. So men, go ahead and seek social support so that you can level up, but also not be lonely. The average man has 1.8 friends, basically less than 2 friends. You know what I mean? And so that leads to loneliness and over-reliance on romantic relationships. But if you can't connect with her emotionally, then you're just going to be falling through women and you won't feel anything, right? That's not good. Number 3, developing emotional intelligence, right? So we have to understand and recognize and manage emotions as well as the emotions of others. We have to kind of tune in and see was what I'm saying correct, right? I know I'm talking, but am I talking too much? Does my team feel like they can't get a word in edgewise? Does my wife feel like I'm dominating her when we're supposed to be having a dialogue, right? How do you connect with a 7-year-old girl? How do you connect with a 40-year-old man? How do you connect with someone who is coming for you? Those are different emotional intelligence. All this in the field of emotional intelligence, and you have to shift. Number 4, embracing multiple masculinities. Look, we can be tough and strong and also be loving and caring and kind and vulnerable and show comfort, right? At the same time, we can be soft. If you know, if someone, mom has died, I'm going to be soft with my boy, right? I'm going to hug him. I'm not going to just look at him and say, I don't know what to say. We have to embrace multiple masculinities. And number 5, we have to engage in self-care, like mindfulness, exercise, stress management techniques, going to the, getting proper rest, not just working ourselves to death if we want to be here. The average man dies 5 years earlier, and it might even be more than. And women, how is it that we're supposed to be the stronger gender, right? If we won't go get the help that we need or the self-care to be able to rest. Even Jesus rested. Jesus was napping. Even LeBron James and Steph Curry, whoever we look up to, have load management where they take time off so that they can play a long time and be there when it counts. So I hope this helps when we start talking about men, mental health, and masculinity. All right, now it's time for us to change so that we can be great. Take care. I'm Dr. Tartt. God bless.